Alright, so I'm going to be opening up this 2019 MacBook Pro. This is a 13-inch model A1989. So this MacBook actually got some liquid or ice cream, I think, in the trackpad, and it's doing some weird stuff, so we're going to try and repair this, okay? So first, what you're going to want to do, excuse me, is remove the pentalobe 1.2 screws from the bottom. There's 2 here that are longer, and then there's 4 at the bottom. So I already removed those using the pentalobe 1.2. If you're going to take everything else apart, you'll also want a T4, a T5, and then a T8. I don't remember if you need anything else, but those are the main ones that you'll use. It's nice to also have a suction cup to make this a little bit easier, though on this model there's this gap here for the air vents that you can kind of use to lift it up. But if you can't lift it up here, see, like here I can lift it up, and then after that I can get my fingernail or a pry tool underneath. But if you can't, you can use a suction cup to help you with this. You use the suction cup, pull on it. If you have like a GPS mount, you can take that, or something for your phone mount in your car, you can take the suction cup and use that. But anyways, once you lift that panel up, you want to go along the side, okay? So it's kind of difficult to do this. Normally I have this against my body, so that way I can easily slide the tool under. But what you do, you get underneath here, go down the side, and then you pull it up just like that, okay? The clip will release. There are clips in the middle, but they're not as strong, so there you go, it popped out. And then you go down to the other side, okay, like this. Same thing, pull up on this over here. I like to use my nails like this, and then I use my thumb to push down on the body. Okay, once you get those clips undone, what you want to do is have the MacBook up like this, and the difficult part is you want to slide this cover down. So it helps to push on this where the vent is, where the air vent is, and then also grab this and pull it down, okay? And then I put my pinky or a few fingers over this, so that way if the cover falls off, it won't like drop the MacBook. Okay, so what I do, just like this, pull on it, okay? So I'm pulling on it and I'm pushing with my other fingers down on this, just like that, okay? So it releases. You want it like on a soft surface or something padded. You can use like paper or foam, so that way when you yank the cover, it will hit into that, okay? So then you go to the other side, and usually the other side will come out easily once you get one side out, okay? So that's how you remove the cover. To put it back, of course, you do the opposite. You just get it slightly slid out, okay? And then you just slide it in, okay? Same thing with the other side. Then you go and slide it back in. Once you do that, you can push these clips back in place, okay? So that's the reassembly process, but I'm going to just leave it out for now, okay? Get out of my way, Ella poop. Okay, there we go. So you got that. Grab this, pull it down, just like that, okay? Showing this twice. Some people ask me how to reassemble. Pretty much every video where I take things apart, if you want to know how to reassemble, just do everything in reverse. You just, if you pulled it out, push it in, okay? So, I mean, you know how to. Alright, so I'm just going to clean the dust off from the inside of here. I'll clean it better later. For now, I'm just going to check the trackpad. So I have videos where I completely disassemble these things. This isn't going to be one of those videos. I'm just going to be doing the trackpad. So if you're looking for a complete disassembly video, you can watch those. But keep in mind, this MacBook, there's actually nothing really upgradable on here. So the only reason you would take this apart is if you're replacing or repairing something. So also, a lot of these pieces in here aren't really replaceable. So keep that in mind. Apple's making these computers, so you basically have to throw them away or bring it to somebody that can fix these boards. So the trackpad is one of the things that are still replaceable or repairable. So you get a T4, well, sorry. First we're gonna have to peel up this plastic cover here. So this just protects the battery circuit. So you just get underneath and then just slowly peel it up, okay? I had one person earlier talk with me and said that peeling up this thing looked scary. It's basically just some sticker pads. You won't really break anything peeling this thing off, so you don't have to worry about it. But you don't want to just like tear it out, like, okay. So anyways, we're gonna have to use, sorry, the T5 screwdriver, okay. So first what you want to do, there's this little flex cable here. Let me zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. But I'm gonna disconnect this. This is for the battery. This cable's for the battery, and then also this thing under the screw is for the battery. So make sure that you do have this cable in place, okay? So when you put it back together. Anyways, this little plastic piece here is just like tape, so you want to peel that up, okay? Just like that. Get that piece of tape out of the way. And then here is a little latch, so I use my fingernail and just flip it up just like that. I don't know if you can see in the video, hopefully it's clear enough, but that latch is lifted up. Once you get that latch lifted up, I like to get underneath this part, the squiggly part of the cable, and then just pinch it with my 2 fingers and then kind of wiggle it and pull it out just like that, okay? And if you're wondering how to put it back in, you kind of hold this plastic tape thing out of the way, okay? Like that, and then you just have to maneuver it and slide that back into the slot here. Okay, you can use this plastic tab to kind of pull it in place. And once you pull this plastic tab all the way in place, just push this latch down, okay? So yeah, everything, you take it out, you just do the reverse to put it back in, okay? So just like that. I'm not going to show the reverse on everything because it's kind of, you get the idea. Just rewind and watch the video again. But anyways, you got this cable. This is for the battery. Without this cable, your battery won't work. And then also this actually provides the battery power into the MacBook. So you have to disconnect this as well. This is using a T5 screw. Okay, so undo this T5 screw. It's a very giant flat screw. Okay, so remove that. Set it aside. Don't want to mix them up. And then under here, this metal plate that the screw was holding down, you want to bend it up slightly, okay? So that way it's no longer resting on top. So if I tilt this up, you should actually see a gap there, okay? So you don't want that thing resting down on top anymore. And after you do that, you can press and hold, open it up, and press and hold the power button. This will drain any power that's left in the MacBook. This is very important if you're working on the MacBook components inside. The most important part is if you're messing with the screen, you really have to make sure the battery's disconnected and hold the power button. The other components, it's not as important, but it's always good practice to drain the power just to be safe, okay? So I disconnected the battery and now I'm holding the power button about 10 to 15 seconds. That should be good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the trackpad. I think these are also, okay, these are also T5 screws. So I'm going to remove actually the trackpad screws first, just because they're T5. Let me zoom, oops, too far. Let me zoom out. It's going to be a little difficult to show this because I have to like slide it around. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so you got the screws here for the trackpad. You shouldn't have to remove these two here along this copper thing. That's the vibration haptic feedback motor. So I'm going to remove the screw here. Okay. Again, you want to keep these screws in order. You don't want to get them all mixed up. They can be different sizes and shapes, and I always like to put the same screw back where I got it just to be safe. Okay. So again, we're going to remove all these screws. So there's 2 here, 2 here, and then there's 2 down here. And also when you take the trackpad out, you don't want to flip the trackpad over because there's little washers in there. So as you remove all the screws, make sure that you don't flip the trackpad over. So I'll show you how you do this so that you don't lose those little washers. I don't know if those washers really serve any purpose other than maybe Apple finding out that you took out the trackpad, because if you take them out, I'm pretty sure it will work the same. You probably won't even be able to tell the difference. But yeah, I like to make sure everything is put back the way I found it. That way it's, yeah, you don't want to lose parts and then later when someone works on it, they'll be like, where are these things? So, okay, so remove those. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 screws. All right. Once you got those 10 screws out, we have to disconnect the trackpad cable up here, and that you need to use a T4 screwdriver, okay? So some people ask me like what specific screwdrivers you need. Just buy a whole set, because it's nice to have the whole set if you ever need to open anything, rather than every time you need a new tool just to open one specific thing. All right, so remove the 2 screws holding this bracket in place that holds this cable. Okay. All right, so now that you got those 2 screws out, you can lift this this metal plate out. Okay, and after you lift that, I use my fingernails. Some people are like saying they don't have fingernails. You can use any plastic tool, something that doesn't conduct electricity. You can use plastic pry tools, but I like to use my fingernails because I have multiple, so I can pull two like this. I don't need two plastic pry tools to kind of like pry it like that. Okay, and then you just yank it up like that. Snaps together basically like a Lego, but you do have to make sure it's lined up before you kind of push on it, because if you push down on it and it's not lined up, you can actually damage the connector. Okay, so it's very important you line it up and then push it down. Okay, just like that. Now we'll pop this back out, and then this part is kind of taped in place. So to be safe, you want to kind of pull it this way while you pull it up. You don't want to just like peel it backwards, because then that will crease this whole cable, and you don't want it to like roll on itself. That damages it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm kind of pulling it that way as I'm kind of pulling it up. Okay, just like this. And then towards the end, you kind of want to hold it so you don't accidentally, as you can see, I'm turning my finger sideways so that my nail doesn't like poke into it. So just like that. Okay, now we got the cable disconnected. Just like that. Again, hopefully you remember to drain the power like I said. And now what you do is, let me zoom out. You open the screen slightly, okay, and then keep your hand underneath. You're gonna have to catch the trackpad, okay? So guide this cable out of the way and then catch the trackpad. It looks like the liquid they spilled is sticking on it, so it's making it a little bit tricky, but as you can see, you just pull this out, okay? The cable's coiled under there, so make sure you don't get it caught and then rip out the cable. All right, so here you can see, wow, that's disgusting. So hopefully this will be repairable. There's a lot of gunk on here. And as you can see, there's like this rectangle washer here, rectangle washer, there's these circle washers, and then the rectangle washers. So those, they can get lost really easily. So just be careful with those. And then this piece, I'm gonna take it out. So just like the other battery cable, there's a latch here. You flip that up. And then once you flip that up, you can actually pull this cable out, okay? Just like this. You want to be careful. All right, so this cable looks like it got some damage on it too, so I don't know if this trackpad's going to be salvageable, but we will find out. I'm going to clean off the cable. So basically I just get a napkin and I have isopropyl alcohol. Usually you don't want to spray stuff on top of the computer. I mean, isopropyl alcohol won't damage the computer as long as you dry it all before you turn it on. But I don't know if you saw earlier, this thing was gross. It's cleaned up now. So that looks kind of nice. All right. It doesn't look like the connector got, maybe it might have got a little bit of damage. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but there's one pin there that looks a little bit damaged. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's just cosmetic and it will still work okay. But yeah, clean off the cable as good as you can. All right. And then I like to use a toothbrush. I'm probably not going to do this in camera because I need to do it over a trash can and I can't really keep adjusting my camera every time. Or actually, let me zoom out and then you can probably see. So I have my trash can here, and basically I'm just going to take the toothbrush and kind of scrub it. Okay, and then this stuff that's stuck, I can kind of scrape it with my nail. It's probably not going to cause too much issues. So we'll see. The main thing is this piece here is kind of, there's like a bunch of green stuff in there. That's the oxidation from the electricity running through it with the moisture. Okay, so yeah, this one's pretty bad. I don't know. I'll try and clean it with the paper towel. Oops, see these little washers, they just fall out really easily. So I'm gonna try and clean it with the rubbing alcohol. I might have to use water too or something, but we're just gonna use some rubbing alcohol. Okay, like this, and then just try and clean it off. If that doesn't work, you might have to use some water as well. And the cable here, you kind of want to just clean it in this direction. I did like rub it the wrong way a little bit, but it should be okay. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to use water on this. So I'm gonna get a little water and I'll be back. I'm gonna pause the video. I'll come back with a paper with some just plain, actually I have plain water here, so I don't need to pause the video. Okay, so I got this little container filled with some water. I mean, usually you put rubbing alcohol or something in there, but I think I made it a little rusty now. But there we go. So I just get a little water. You don't want too much water. You don't want it to like drip into the thing. So I kind of like put a little bit and then I roll it to get it to spread into the rest of the piece of paper. So that way when I wipe it, it's not gonna like leak water all into the components, okay? So here you just clean it, okay? So you can see it's cleaning a lot better. Depending what you spilled, you have to change what you use to clean it. So water works really good to clean off like sugars and things like that. But if it's like something waxy or oily, you have to use like rubbing alcohol. Okay? So I'm gonna try and brush that gunk out. I don't know how well it's gonna work. There's some bunch of gunk in there. And you want to be careful with those little latches because you can accidentally snap them off and lose them. So be careful with that. Okay. I don't know about that cable if it's going to be repairable, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more water in there. So I don't know if this trackpad piece will be repairable. It looks pretty gross. It looks like I will have to pull this cable out, but there's not really much slack to yank on it. So we'll see if that's even possible. What I'm gonna do is I'll take a little needle here. Let me zoom in actually. Okay, I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna use the needle, get underneath this cable. All right, there's some adhesive it seems under here, or maybe it's just the liquid. So I'm pushing, I have this needle, it's slightly bent. So that way when I push it, it goes away from the pointy thing and it doesn't stab into anything. So I'm just sliding this over here. All right, so I got that cable released from the adhesive and there we go. So here you can see this connector is pretty bad. It looks gross. I'm gonna try and clean it again with some more water. This corrosion kind of stuff, usually you can use like white vinegar and clean it off and it works pretty well. But you have to make sure to clean it off afterwards, okay? So this cable does look like it got burnt, so I don't know if it's gonna work. We probably have to replace the trackpad and possibly the trackpad cable, that ribbon that I pulled out because it had a little corrosion on it. It wasn't too bad, but we'll see. All right, I'm gonna switch and use some rubbing alcohol now. And then I'm gonna clean this some more. Okay, I'm just kind of trying to scrape it off. But it does look like it's burnt, so I don't think it's gonna work, but we will find out. The trackpad was working, it was just very like intermittent. Sometimes it'll click stuff on its own, and yeah, and usually that's caused by a short where it thinks that the button is being pressed even though it's not. So hopefully cleaning it up like this will work. But there is like liquid all throughout in the middle and on the sides. But the main thing was that point. So this one doesn't look so bad. I guess we'll find out. All right, it's pretty gross. I'm gonna have to use some more water. The residue from the thing is like all still on there, so we'll see. I'll try and peel out that other cable as well just to see how it looks. It looks like most of it was on that one side, so okay. Alright, so I'm basically just cleaning all the spill off. I don't know what they spilled. Maybe it was coffee because it doesn't look like ice cream. It's like brown. But I don't know. It doesn't smell like coffee, so maybe it was ice cream. Alright, so we got that. This part here is also a little dirty, so I'm going to clean that as well. And then I'm going to open it up, and I'm pretty sure there's a big sticky mess on the other side, so I'm going to clean that as well. Open it up, here you go. You can, oops, you can see it's pretty gross in there, so we're gonna clean that as well. Again, this is a water-based spill, so you want to use, depending what it is, you have to use different liquid to clean it up. So And this one I have to use water to clean it. Okay, be careful not to use too much water. You don't want to get it to get into the battery. All right. Just like that. And hopefully that will be good enough, but we won't find out until we plug it back together and try and turn it on. But clean off whatever residue we can see. Okay. Okay. It's looking a lot better. Okay. If you want, you can actually get a clean paper after you finish. Too much talking, my throat's getting screwed up. I swear it's not COVID. Alright, so we get another paper. Alright. And then we'll clean off some more just to get any residue out that we can. Alright. There we go. So it looks nice under here now. Should be good. Okay, so now that we got that, I'm gonna close it up. He told me that some of the keys were also having problems. I'm gonna see if I can pop the keys out, but though it's kind of risky doing that, so if it's too difficult, I might not do it. I'm gonna clean the dust out of the fans here. Yes, I just use a toothbrush. No, I don't brush my teeth with it. Okay. One time someone saw the toothbrush and they're like, man, whose toothbrush is that? It's so gross. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to get a new toothbrush every time to work on computers. They thought I was brushing my teeth with that toothbrush or something. Okay, so I'm just getting all the dust out. Sorry it's going off camera, but I have this thingy that I'm using to clean the dust out. Okay, set that aside. Let's grab the trackpad back here. Alright, let me actually peel out this connector as well, just to see. Alright, I'm going to see if this side is also bad. I don't know, it's probably not in camera. Okay, so let's see here. Get the thing underneath. And then peel up the adhesive here. There we go. Okay. So now you got that. I'm going to try and peel this out. Okay, so I'm using the needle and my finger to kind of pinch it to pull it out. So there we go. I might have to use tweezers to put this back. This one looks pretty bad as well. So I'm going to clean that. Okay. Oh no, those little washer thingies are like falling off. That's what I hate about this. One of the circle washers are missing. I don't know where it went. I have a cat outside that's knocking on my door. So let me see if I can find that. Where's that circle washer? It just disappeared. Yeah, that's what I hate about this. Those washers are like so finicky. They just... It's probably in the trackpad somewhere. Huh. I don't remember seeing that circle one fall off anywhere. Guess I'll look around for it later. I don't see it anywhere here. Alright, so let's see. I don't know where that little washer is, so we might have to just continue without it. Did it fall in here? Nope. Did it stick in here? Nope. See, this is what I mean. These washers are kind of a pain. Oh, it doesn't seem to be in there anywhere. I don't see it in my work surface anywhere. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna continue without that little washaw. Is it in the napkin? No. Yeah, I don't know where it would have gone. I didn't see it fall off or anything. Okay, anyways, I guess we'll just put the trackpad back. I don't know if maybe it got caught under one of these. No. That looks fine. Okay. That looks fine. Yeah, I don't know where that little washer is. Alright, so anyways, we're going to put this cable back in. So that's one of the things I was worried. Those washers suck. They fall off so easily, even if you didn't flip it over. Right? I'm going to hold this cable out of the way. Oh, it's still gross under there, so I'm going to clean underneath this. Okay. I don't know if that was just the adhesive or if that was actually some stuff there. It looks like I'm going to have to use the toothbrush to try and clean this, but I don't know. So the pins there, I don't know how you would clean that. They're kind of, maybe let me try putting a little more water and then getting the water in there. But most likely we'll have to replace this trackpad. We'll see. Sometimes we can save them. Alright, go on this side, lift up this cable. This side's not so gross, but we're going to try and clean it anyways. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to try and plug these little cables back in. Flip up the little latch. Grab the cable. It's burnt, so I don't think it's going to work, but we'll find out. Come on. This one's going to be tough. You might have to use tweezers for this part. I don't know if you're even able to see what I'm doing, just because I'm focusing on what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. So that cable's going in. Once you get it in, you can kind of slide it. Oops, sorry. Slide it and push it up. Okay, put the latch down. I don't know where that washer went. It bugs me. Or is that even a washer? Oh, that's... Wait, is that a washer? Yeah, it is a washer. Oh, it doesn't even come off. That one's like stuck on. Alright, so we're going to flip up this latch as well. I'm going to look around my work area and see if I can find that little washer if there even was one. I don't know. Usually it'll be on each one, so... Alright, get that cable in. Push that in place as well. Alright, put the latch down. Give me a minute. I'm going to pause the video, see if I can find that little washer somewhere. Alright, I think I found it. It's this little tiny circle. Okay. Alright, so we're going to put this back here. I guess when I was brushing it, it somehow flew off. Come on, get back on there. These things are so thin and tiny, it's like... There we go. Okay, so I got that washer back in. We're going to reattach this. Oops, I got a little paper on the adhesive there. But anyways, we're going to reattach this cable. Okay. So just slide it back in like this. If it still has issues, then we're going to have to replace it. I think these trackpads are around like 30-40 bucks, something like that. I don't know. Usually I get them on eBay or something. But yeah, peel that up. Make sure that the thing is seated in all the way. Okay. Yeah, I can see when the light shines on it in a different angle, I can actually see corrosion on it. So I think this cable is going to need to be replaced if it's still having problems. Alright, so just slide that cable in. There is adhesive on the bottom, so you kind of have to keep the adhesive up while you're sliding that in, and then put that latch down. Alright, now we gotta put the trackpad in, keeping it this way. Okay, All right, just like this. Lift up open up the screen, and then thread the cable through, just like this. And then the other tricky part is getting it completely aligned. I kind of get like some OCD trying to line this up. But basically, you put back all these screws, and then you have to align it. So what I do is I'll put like 4 of the screws first. So I'll take 1 screw, put it in this corner here. Okay, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Again, we have to use, this is with the we need the T5 screwdriver. That's why it's wobbling around. Make sure you switch back to the T5 bit. I was using the T4, I think. Okay, so just like that. You don't want it all the way tightened, you just want it. So what I do is I tighten it all the way and then I loosen it back out like 1 or 2 turns or partial turns, okay? And then that way you can kind of line it all up, okay? So go like that. And then I'm going to just put the screws in loosely. Alright, tighten it up, loosen it back a little bit, tighten it up, loosen it back a little bit, tighten it up, loosen it back a little bit, this one, tighten it up, and loosen it back a little bit. Sometimes what helps is around here, there's like a light circle ring, so what you can do is you can kind of center it into those rings. And that's how you can kind of get the trackpad aligned. I'm not sure how they do this in the factory. Maybe they have like some shims that they put in the trackpad to hold it in place. Because when you try and tighten these down, it slides all over the place. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, so once you get that in, okay. Once you get in 2 corners of them lined up the way you want it, okay. Then I flip it over and check the alignment, just because I'm OCD. I don't know, well, you can actually plug this cable in first just so it's not hanging in, like, going all over the place, okay. So we're gonna line this up. Make sure the cable is lined up properly before pressing it down, okay, that's very important. Some people try and force it in and then they damage the motherboard. Alright, just like that. Okay, we're going to flip this over. Check the trackpad. To me, there's like too big of a gap up here and not a big enough gap down here. So this is the annoying part I'm talking about. I'm going to have to like try and align this. It's kind of a pain. So now I have to loosen these screws that I tightened in. And then try and move it just a tiny bit the way I want. Alright, just a tiny bit. Then I'll double check it again. Eventually I will like give up and then just be like, whatever, that's as good as I can get it. So I'm going to try and move it a tiny bit over. Very tiny bit. It's very like, I don't know. If it's just a tiny bit out of alignment, it really bugs me. I don't know, guys. Sorry. Okay, so hopefully that's good enough. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, so once you get that, you just tighten all the screws in place. Alright. Make sure everything's tightened. Alright, just like that. And then hopefully if we did it right, then the trackpad or if the trackpad was repairable, it should be good now. So what I'm gonna do, let's put back these screws as well. That's with the T4 screwdriver. Okay. I like to put one in loosely first, just like with the trackpad, so that way you can kind of move this thing around and get it aligned properly, and then tighten it all the way down. There we go. Tighten that one all the way down. All right, now we're gonna put back the battery screw. Be careful with this. You don't want to drop it on the board while you're pushing the battery connectors down. So get this, put the screw in, tighten it down. It should push the battery connector back down all the way for you. Then again, we plug this cable back in. This one's a little tricky because your finger will kind of block it while you're trying to do it. Okay. Okay, there we go. And then pull that cable all the way in. And now that we got that, put the latch down. Flip the adhesive back over. You can put this one back in. So this has a little notch in it to help you put it in the right spot. Just line it up. Put it back down in place. This piece, I'm not going to slide the things back in just for testing. So what I'm going to do is just put that on top and then clip these in. That way I can just pull it back out easier if it's having some issues or if I need to check something else. We'll flip this back over. All right, then we just need the charge cable. And we plug this into the Mac, and hopefully we got a good working trackpad. If not, then too bad. We're gonna have to replace it. Okay, it is a lot better right now. I don't know if you can hear it. It's actually responding the way it should. Actually, the right side of it is dead, but the left side's okay. So I think that one, because that one was all burnt, and that's the one having the problem. But anyways, it does look like it's responding. If the customer wants to get the right hand side fixed, then I will have to replace the trackpad. I mean, yeah, the right side is the only side that's not working. So I'll probably tell him that he should enable the 2-finger click, and then that should allow him to do the right click if he needs to. But yeah, because this side got completely burnt up, it's not going to work. But anyways, that's pretty much all there is to it. So I'm going to flip this over and then latch the thing back on properly. If he does want me to replace it, then I will order a replacement. But for now, I think he'll probably be okay with that. So we'll see. All right, so just get the cover, slide it back in again, one side at a time. You do have to kind of hold this down. Okay, it can be a little bit tricky. Slide that in, go to the other side, and then slide that in as well. There we go. Then you want to make sure it's all flush on the top. Push down the sides here, and just like that. Push down the center. All right, and then you can put back the pentalobe screws. So that's pretty much all there is to this. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe. Help others find these videos. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. If you want, you can watch me put back all the screws. You can stare at little Ella poop here. But yeah. All right. So put back the screws. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right. All right. You can watch till the end, but I'm basically just putting back the screws. Not much to watch here. All right, thank you for watching. That's 2. All right, bye.